Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. We will start with a new project series where we will create the Contacts app in Jetpack Compose using the Room database and MVVM. Let me show you. This is how it looks. It's a basic contacts app where the user can add a contact with an image, name, phone number and email, and all of these are saved in the Room database. Let me show you. And then you can retrieve the data from the database and display it in a list format. You can also click on it to see the detailed view. We have saved the image, name, phone number and email. Also, you can edit the contact by clicking on this floating action button. And it is updated. Then you can also delete the contact by simply clicking on the delete contact button and delete it. Now let's create the project. Open Android Studio, choose empty compose activity, name the app as the Contacts app, and then the app functionality was easy to understand. Now let's talk about the technical part. As we are using the Room database and MVVM, so we will be required to create ViewModel and then the Room database components such as entity, DAO and database. Also, we are supposed to create multiple screens such as display screen, add a contact screen, detail screen and edit contact screen. All of this will be designed in Jetpack Compose. Got it? Plus, we will learn how to select an image from the gallery, how to store an image in the Room database and also how to display it and so much more. Now the project is quite big, so obviously it won't be covered in one video. Hence, I have divided the project into 6 videos. Starting with our first video, Prerequisites. Prerequisites include colors, theme, drawable, Gradle dependency and Android manifest. So let's start. Please use the latest version of Android Studio. I am currently using Android Studio Jellyfish 2023.3.1. Alright, go to color, add green JC color, whose code is 3FDC85. And then go to the theme, add green JC as the primary color. And then now we need to add few dependency in Gradle. So follow me. Go to the Gradle module, add all the dependencies as shown. We have Navigation Compose for navigating, then Coil Compose for retrieving images from the Room database, then Room database dependencies, and then Lifecycle and Live Data for MVVM. Now, if you are using an old version of Android Studio, then these dependencies will work. But in the latest version, you are supposed to convert them in version catalog format, like this way. And then, I tell you something. In the entire project, I am sure that you won't face any errors. But this is where you will face the most errors. Why? Because your Android Studio Gradle versions and Kotlin version will be different from mine. So there are chances of errors. Hence, we need to be on the same page. How? I will provide Gradle code in the description box. So compare the code and make sure using the same versions. Okay? Like use Gradle version 8.8. So if yours is different, then you can change it from the project structure. Also, I am using the Kotlin 2.0 version. Likewise, these are all the versions that I am using. This is a version catalog where all your dependencies and their versions are saved. Here, I will manually create a plugin for KSP and Compose compiler this way. And then, now you can access them here in Gradle module plugins. And then also we need to add both of these plugins in the Gradle project this way. And then now click on sync now. And then if you face any error in the Gradle, then compare the code and use the latest Android Studio as well as latest dependency versions. Okay. Next, we will add 4 icons which we will use on every screen's top app bar. These are the 4 images that I created: contact icon, contact detail icon, add contact icon, and edit contact icon. So let me add them quickly. And then the last thing that we need to do is to add permission in the manifest. So go to Android manifest. We will select images from the gallery. Hence, we will require permission to access photos. So add read media images permission. And then our prerequisites are done. In the next video, we will set up the room database. So stay tuned for that. For now, that is it for the video. If you are new to this channel, then please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the previous video, we covered prerequisites, and now in this video, we will set up the room database for our contacts app. With the help of a room database, we can store the contact, retrieve the contact, update the contact, and delete the contact. As you already know, the room database has 3 components: entity, DAO, and database. And that is what we will create in this video. So an entity is the data itself. DAO is a data access object where we'll pass all the queries. Then the database is where we initialize the room database. So open the Contacts app project. First, we will create an entity, then a DAO, and then a database. So create a new data class. Name it contact. And then this will be our entity. To tell the compiler this is our entity class, we need to add entity annotation with a table name. I'll give the table name contacts. Then inside it, we will have 5 data parameters: ID, image, name, phone number, and email. So let's create it. First is ID as int. ID is a unique value, hence we will assign it as the primary key. Then the image is a string. Name also a string. Phone number is also a string. And lastly, email is also a string. And done. Our entity class is ready. Now let's create a DAO interface. So name it Contact DAO. And then again, to tell the compiler that this interface is a DAO interface, we need to add DAO annotation. Now inside it, we will create 4 queries to perform operations such as insert, update, delete, and display queries. Let's start with the insert query. Add insert annotation with onConfig strategy, ignore. Then suspend function, insert the data. And what is our data? Contact, which we just created. In the same way, we will create queries for update and delete as well. And then the last query is to display or retrieve the data. This one we have to write manually. So write along with me. Select star from contacts. Contacts is a table name. Then below it, create a function get all contacts. So whatever the data will be retrieved, that needs to be in a list format, hence creating a flow list of data, that is contact itself. And then it is showing error. Let me check. Okay, we are using the wrong import. So make sure it is coroutine flow instead of concurrent flow. Okay. And then our contact DAO is also ready. Now next, let's create the database. So create a class, name it contact database. And then again, to tell the compiler that this is a database class, we need to mention database annotation here. And then, but in the database annotation, we also need to mention 3 parameters. First, entities, means the data, and that data is contact class. Then version, means database version, which is 1. And lastly, export schema false, because we don't want to keep the history of versions. And then it's not just a class, but it's an abstract class, means it is mostly used to extend or implement abstract methods. And what are abstract methods? The methods are function with no body. Got it? So here we are going to extend the room database, and then inside it we will create an abstract function which is our contact DAO itself. And then, so our contact database is also ready. One more thing is remaining, and that is to initialize the database, which we will do in the main activity in our upcoming videos. Okay? In the next video, we will create the repository and view model. So stay tuned for that. For now, that is it for the video. If you are new to this channel, then please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the previous video, we set up the room database. And now in this video, we will set up the repository and view model. So open the Contacts app project, create a new class, name it Contact Repository. And then, now what is a repository? In technical language, I will say it's a place where all your data will be stored. See, the entity is the data. DAO is where all the queries are present. And the database is where we initialize the room database. But where are we storing the data? In the repository. Got it? How? I'll show you. See, all of this data will be stored, deleted or updated, whatever it is, will be through queries, right? And where have you mentioned the queries? In DAO. So call the DAO interface here. Then inside it, we are going to store the data with the help of queries that we created before in Contact DAO. See, insert, update, delete and display contacts. This is where we handle the queries. And this is where we are storing the data with the help of queries. So let's start with all contacts. Whose data type is flow, list of contact. Contact is our data and flow is a part of coroutine's flow package, which is used for handling asynchronous data streams. Then call get all contacts from DAO, and then in the same way we are going to do insert, update and delete as well. So create a suspend function insert with the data, that is entity class contact. Then inside it, call the insert function that we created in contact DAO and store the data, that is contact. And then likewise, I'll quickly write the code for update and delete as well. And then see, all contacts, insert, update and delete functions, all of this stores our data. And that's what a repository is, right? Now next, let's create a view model. So create a new class, name it contact view model, and done. But what is view model? I have explained it multiple times, but still, hear me out. You know what an MVVM is, right? Model, view, and view model. The model contains the data. The view consists of UI. And the view model is a mediator between model and view, which contains logic. More likely, it helps data in UI to communicate. So in our project, room database, classes like entity, DAO, database, all are the part of model. Then the UI that we will create in main activity will be a view. Now to create communication between the room database and the view, we need view model. So let's create it. Now we need the data, the stored data that is present in the contact repository. So call it here and also extend the view model class. Then create a variable all contacts whose data type will be live data with the list of contacts to whom we will assign all contacts from the repository and consider it as live data. What is live data? Live data is a lifecycle aware data holder that is used to update the UI automatically when the data changes, ensuring that the app's UI is always up to date with the latest data from the repository. Got it? Now next, create a function add contact with all the parameters such as image, whose data type is a string, then name, string, phone number, string, and email, also string. Then inside it, launch the new coroutine thread using ViewModel scope. What is ViewModel scope? So ViewModel scope ensures the operation is performed asynchronously and is tied to the life cycle of the ViewModel. Then create a new contact object with the provided details, image, name, phone number, and email, and an ID of 0. This contact is then inserted into the repository. And then in the same way, I will update the contact and delete the contact, but this time, instead of each parameter, we will directly consider a contact item. So it's like whenever you update or delete the contact, then the entire contact is updated or deleted. Got it? So let me quickly write the code. And then the last thing that we need to do is to create a view model factory. What is view model factory? So the view model factory initializes the view model. It's mostly syntax only. Let me first write the code and then I'll explain. and done. Now, the contact view model factory class is a factory for creating instances of contact view model. It takes a contact repository as a parameter and overrides the create method to return a contact view model instance if the requested model class is contact view model. If the requested model class is not contact view model, it throws an illegal argument exception. Basically, this entire code ensures that the contact view model is created with the necessary repository parameter. Got it? And that's it. Our repository and view model classes are ready. In the next video, we'll start with the Jetpack Compose UI in our main activity. So stay tuned for that. For now, that is it for the video. If you are new to this channel, then please consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the previous video, we set up the repository and view model. And now in this video, we are finally going to start with the Jetpack Compose UI design. So open the Contacts app project. Go to the main activity. Now we have multiple screens, right? Such as display contact screen, add contact screen, edit contact screen, and detail contact screen. Now, instead of creating each screen separately, we will design everything in the main activity itself. So there will be a lot of code in the main activity. Hence, I have divided the main activity into 3 videos. So this is our first video of the main activity where we will create an add contact screen. Alright, let's create it. First, we will initialize all the required classes that we created before, such as database class, repository class, and view model class. So create a database variable, then call the database builder. As per the syntax, first we are require a context, then the class, and then the name of the database. So application context, then contact database class, and then the name of the database will be contact_database, and build it. Let me remind you that our table name is contacts and our database name is contact_database. Got it? Then the database is a part of the repository. Hence, creating a repository variable with contact repository class, and inside it the database that we just created with DAO. And then this repository will be a part of our view model. So create a view model variable with contact view model class by view models, which gives us access to attach contact view model factory with the repository that we just created. Now listen, I told you already how MVVM works, right? Model, view, and view model. The model is a database which is present inside the repository, and that repository is connected to our view model. And now we will use this view model to connect with our view, means our UI. Hence, the view model is said to be mediator between model and view. Got it? Next, we will create an add contact screen. The screen will look like this. There is a button to choose an image from the gallery, name, phone number, email text fields, and add contact button. Simple. But before creating that, we must create a logic for storing an image in the internal storage. What is that required? So initially, when I created this project, I was facing an error where the image was visible when I saved it. But if I open the app again, then the image disappeared. So I tried finding solutions and concluded that in the room database, while storing an image, we are supposed to store it in the internal storage. So let me quickly write the code. Now see, the function copy URI to internal storage copies a file from a given URI to the internal storage of an Android app. It takes a context, a URI, and a file name as the parameters. URI is the path of an image. Then it creates a new file in the app's internal storage, opens an input stream from the URI, and copies its content to the new file, that is output stream. If successful, it returns the absolute path of the copied file. Otherwise, it returns null and prints a stack trace of any exception encountered. Got it? Now let's create the add contact screen function. The code is quite lengthy but very easy. So create an add contact screen function with two parameters, ViewModel and navController. We created a ViewModel variable where the model is already attached, and now the view, that is add contact screen, is going to attach with it too. Then the navController will help us to navigate from one screen to another screen. Like when all of these details are submitted, it will save the details and navigate us to the display contact screen. Now inside it, we will use a toast. Hence for that, we require to create a context variable. And then the four variables that we are going to store. First is image URI. By remember, mutable state of, whose data type is URI and whose value is currently null. Add the required imports and done. Then we will create the name, phone number and email variables. And done. Then we will create a launcher variable. Let me write the code. And done. This code initializes a content picker using Jetpack Compose. Remember, launcher for activity result sets up an activity result launcher for selecting content like images from the device. When the user picks a file, the selected URI is assigned to image URI variable. Got it? In simple language, launchers help us to pick an image from the gallery. And whatever the image URI means the path of the image is, that is assigned to the image URI variable. Simple. Now we will refer to this screenshot and create each element. It's mostly UI only, so there is not much of an explanation, but wherever required, I will explain. The first thing in the add context screen is the top app bar. So let's create that. But first, we are going to create multiple items, right? Like the top app bar, button, text field, for which we are supposed to use a scaffold. So I'll create a scaffold, and inside it, I will write the top bar code. And then add the required imports. See, the height of the top app bar is 48 dp. Then we have given a title, add contact, with 18 font size. Why is it in the box? Because I wanted the title to be the center vertical, hence I have used a box. Then an icon beside it, which we call a navigation icon, whose on click is a toast. And the add contact icon is an image. Then lastly, I have given colors. The container color is green, the title color is white, and the icon color is also white. And that's it. Our top app bar is ready. Next, let's create an image display. Here you will face an error, so solve it as shown. So inside the scaffold curly brackets, write padding values. Then this image, button, text fields, all of this will come under a column. So let's create a column. And then inside it, an image will be displayed in circle shape. So write image URI dot let. URI is the path of an image, so whatever that image is will be displayed in an image item. So create an image composable. Now to retrieve the image that is chosen from the gallery, we will use remember async image painter with URI, which is the path of an image. Then further customize it. And next we will add a spacer whose height is 12 dp to create a distance between two items. Then create a button that will open the gallery for us. So the onClick will be the launcher variable that we created above to launch the input image /star. This is a format to open only images like no PDF, no videos, nothing. Then customize the button. And done. The button color is green and the text written on it, choose image. Again, a spacer with 16 dp height. Now we will create 3 text fields for name, phone number and email. Text fields are like edit text where the user enters the input. So first let's create a text field for the name. Write a text field composable whose value is the name variable that we created above. And even if the value changes, then whatever the present value is, that is it, will be assigned to the name variable. Then the label means the hint on it will be name. And then further customizations like size and color. and done. Again a spacer with 8 dp height. Then below it we will create 2 more text fields. So I will simply copy paste it. Make the required changes. And done. Now we have name, phone number and email text fields ready. Next, again give a spacer of 16 dp height. The last thing that we are supposed to create in add contact screen is the add contact button, which will save all the details. So create a button whose on click will take the image URI, which is the path of the displayed image. Remember I said that we are supposed to save an image in the internal storage. For that we create the copy URI to internal storage function. So we will use that and copy the image path and store it in the internal path. Then inside the internal path, create a path variable. This will be our internal storage image path. Got it? Now once we have the path, then using ViewModel, we will add the contact. This is where ViewModel comes into the picture. So what are the items that we are storing? Path, name, phone number and email. All of these are stored in the room database. Once it is stored, then using nav controller will navigate to the display contact screen, which we will create in the next video. But for now, I will write the root as contact list. So the root name is like a keyword for display contact screen that we will create while writing the code for it. Okay? Then pop-up 2 is 0, means whenever you click the back button, it will be properly navigated to the required screen instead of stacking all the previous screens. Got it? And lastly, customize the button. And done. The button color is green and the text written on it is add contact. And that's it. Our add contact screen is ready. In the next video, we will display the contact. So stay tuned for that. For now, that is it for the video. If you are new to this channel, then please consider subscribing to my channel and I'll see you in the next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the previous video, we created an add contact screen and now in this video, we will create a display contact screen. So open the project, go to the main activity. So to display a list of contacts, we need to create a contact item that will be displayed in a list format. Hence, we need to create 2 functions. One is for contact items and another one for displaying the contact item in a list. So first, let's create the contact item function. I will give 2 parameters, contact, which is a data class, and onClick means clickable item. This is what we are creating. There is a card and inside it an image and a text. So let's create a card with all the required parameters. and done. Then inside it there will be an image and a text, but we cannot directly add them. Hence we will create a row layout with all the required parameters. And done. Now inside the row we will create an image. See, here we are retrieving the image from the room database. So how will we do that? So to retrieve any image from the room database, we use Remember Async Image Painter. And with the help of that, we will retrieve the contact image. Then add other parameters. And done. Then a spacer with 16 dp width. Then lastly, a text. This is where we will retrieve the contact name. And done. Our contact item is ready. Now let's display this item in a list format. So create a contact list screen function. And done. I will give two parameters, ViewModel and Nav controller for navigation. Then inside it we will be using a toast. Hence for that we will require context. So create a context variable. And done. Here we'll be creating three things. First is the top app bar. Second is the floating action button. And third is the contact item in a list. So first let's start with the top app bar. All of this thing will be inside a scaffold. Hence creating a scaffold. And then inside of it create a top app bar. With 48 dp height. Then a title will be inside a box so that the text is center vertically aligned. The top bar title will be Contacts with 18 sp font size. Then the navigation icon. I will create an icon button whose on click will be a toast. And the icon will be the contact icon image. and done. Then I will add few colors. And then our top app bar is ready. Add necessary imports. And then outside the top app bar brackets, create a floating action button. So when you click on this tab, it will navigate you to the Add Contact screen, which we have already created in the previous video. Hence, the container color is green and on click will navigate to Add Contact. This is our root name. I will talk about it in detail. Before that, add an add icon. And done. Our fab is also ready. Now, before moving on to display list, let's have a look at navigation. Inside the set content, we'll set up a nav controller and nav host for the navigation. So create a nav controller variable. That is equal to remember nav controller. In navigation, we have three components: nav controller, nav host, and nav graph, right? So in Jetpack Compose, we only require a nav host and nav controller. So the nav controller is ready. Then create a nav host with two parameters in it: nav controller, which we just created, and start destination means the first screen, which is obviously our contact list screen that we just created. So here in the navigation, we give roots. It's like keywords. Hence, contact list is our keyword for the contact list screen. How do we assign roots to their screens? Let me show you. Create a composable with root keyword as contact list, whose destination screen is contact list screen function, with its parameters, ViewModel and nav controller, and done. Likewise, we will create for add contact as well. And done. Now we have two routes ready: contact list and add contact. Other two routes, that is contact detail and edit contact, which we will create in the next video. Okay? Now come back here. The last thing that we need to do is to display contact item in a list using a lazy column. The lazy column is like a recycler view in Jetpack Compose. So first let me write the code and then I'll explain. And now see, the padding values modifier is applied to the lazy column to provide padding around the list. Then the contacts list is observed from a view model, which is initially set to an empty list. Then the lazy column is a list that efficiently displays a large number of items, as I said, like a recycler view. Then items represent the list of contact, and that contact is our contact item, which we created before. So each item in the list is represented by a contact item, and when a contact is clicked, it navigates to a detailed view of that contact using navcontroller.navigate, passing the contact's ID in the navigation route. Again, we have not yet created a contact detail route because we have not yet created a contact detail screen. But this is how it is written. Contact detail is a route name and contact.id represents that whatever the contact item is clicked, only that item's contact detail screen should be opened. And that is possible only if we pass contact ID. Got it? And that's it. Our contact list screen is also ready. Now the last thing that is remaining is to create an edit contact screen and a detail contact screen, which we will cover in the next video. For now, that is it for the video. If you are new to this channel, then please consider subscribing to my channel and I'll see you in the next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the previous video, we displayed the contact. And now in this video, we will create a contact detail screen and an edit contact screen. This is our final part of the contacts app series, so the video might be a little lengthy, but there is not much of an explanation because it's all about the designing the UI. So let's start. As I said, we will create two screens today. So let me quickly create two composable functions for them. And done. This is contact detail screen and this is edit contact screen. Both have the same parameters. Contact our data class, view model, and then the nav controller for navigation. Talking about the navigation, let's create a route for them. Come here inside the set content. Previously, we have created routes for contact list and add contact. And now we will create routes for contact detail and edit contact. So write composable, then the route name is contact detail with contact ID because the detail of the contact should be specific ID based, right? Then inside it, create a backstack entry variable. This allows access to the navigation backstack entry from which contact ID can be extracted. So let me write the code to extract it. And then this retrieves the contact ID from the backstack entry and converts it to an integer. Once extracted, then we need to fetch the contact. So write along. And then this observes the list of all contacts from the view model and then finds the contact with the matching contact ID. If a matching contact is found, it navigates to the contact detail screen. Passing the contact, view model and nav controller, as arguments. Got it? Now listen, whatever I said was very technical. Let me give you a very simple brief of what exactly this code is doing. This is a list of contacts. Each one of them has an ID. Let's assume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I want the contact details of Chandler Bing, whose ID is 1. I clicked on Chandler Bing's contact. Now, what happens behind the scenes? The code extracts the ID, which is 1. Then it observes the contact list and finds the contact with a similar ID, that is 1. If there is an ID 1 in the contact list, then it displays the contact detail of ID 1 by navigating to the contact details screen. Simple. This same process will be done for edit contact composable as well. So let me quickly write the code for it. And then this is the edit contact root with contact ID. Here also, when you click on the edit contact button, it extracts the ID and then finds the same ID in the contact list. If any similar ID is found, then the edit contact screen of that ID is opened. And that's it. Now let's write the code for contact details screen. So this is what our contact details screen looks like. We have a top-up bar, then a contact image, name, phone and email. All of this are in a card. Then we have a delete contact button and an edit contact floating action button. Okay, so let's create it. Create a context variable for toast. Then a scaffold in which we will have top-up bar and floating action button. So let me quickly write the code for the top-up bar. You can copy paste it from add contact screen. And then I have previously explained the code 2 times, but still quick explanation. The top-up bar height is 48 dp. Then a title inside a box to be aligned center vertically. Then the title contact detail with navigation icon. And colors. And done. Next, create a floating action button for edit contact. Give the container color green. And on click will navigate us to the edit contact screen with the contact ID. Then lastly, the edit icon. And done. Then next is to create this image, name, email and phone card. So for that, first we need a column. And then now inside this column we will have 4 cards. This is our first card, then the second card for name, the third card for phone number and the fourth card for email. Got it? But again, you cannot directly use a card. We also require a layout. Okay? So you will use the card with a column layout or with a row layout. We will go step by step so that you don't have any confusion while writing the code. The column layout is done. Inside it, create a card with all the parameters. And this is our big card. And inside that big card, we will have a column with all the parameters. And done. Then inside the column layout, we will have an image. So write the code for it. And done. I have retrieved the image from the room database using Remember Async Image Painter. The image is done. Then a spacer with 16 dp height. Again, a card with all the parameters. And done. Inside the card, we will have a row layout with all the parameters. Here we will have a text, name, then a spacer of 8 dp width, and again a text, but this time this text is retrieving the contact's name. And then our name card is ready. Then again create a card with all the parameters. And then Inside the card, we will have a row layout with all the parameters. Then a phone text, a spacer with 8 dp width, and then the text where the contact's phone number is retrieved. And the phone number card is also ready. Now you get the idea, right? So in similar way, we will create for email card as well. And then everything is done except the delete button. So create a spacer with 16 dp height after the email card. Then create a button with a green color. And then the on click is important. So remember we created a delete contact function in ViewModel. That's what we are going to use. Write ViewModel dot delete contact with contact data class as the parameter. And once the contact is deleted, then using nav controller, navigate to contact list screen. Pop-up 2 is 0, means all the previous screen will be cleared. Then lastly, the button text delete contact. And then our detailed contact screen is ready. Now let's move on to edit contact screen. So this is what we are creating. It's kind of similar to add contact screen. Here we have a top app bar, then an image with a choose image button, 3 text fields for name, phone number and email, and lastly an update contact button. And that's it. So let's create it. Create a context variable for toast. And done. Then I will create 4 variables: image, name, phone number and email. And done. See, all of them store the retrieved data from the database, like the name variable stores the contact name from the database and likewise other. Why? Because when you open the edit contact screen, you will already going to find the data, correct? Then create a launcher variable. And then this will open the photo gallery. We will use all of this variable in the below code. Next, let's create a top app bar, floating action button and other elements. Let me make it easy for you. As I said, the UI is pretty much similar to add contact screen, so copy and paste the code from scaffold to the second last bracket where the padding value ends. And done. Now let's make the required changes. Here, the top app bar title will be edit contact and also the toast. Then don't forget the edit contact icon. Also add imports. Then the column will be as it is. Here, remove this image URI dot let block, only keep the image composable. Also change the parameter to image URI here and done. then a spacer of 12 dp height, then the choose image button will be as it is, again a spacer with 16 dp height, then the name text field is as it is, again a spacer of 8 dp height, then the phone number text field here, change the variable, again a spacer of 8 dp height. Also, I may have forgot to add this spacer above email in add contact screen, so please add this line as well. Then the email text field is also as it is. Again a spacer of 16 dp height, then the update contact button. Here we need to make a few changes, so clear this and write inside the on click. So create an update contact variable that will store the copy of the contact image, name, phone number and email. Once we have the details of the updated contact, then update the contact using ViewModel. And once it is updated, then navigate to contact list screen. And lastly, the button color will be green only and the button text update contact. And that's it. Our edit contact screen is also ready, and so is our project. Now let's run the app and see. This is our contact list screen, which is currently empty, so let's add a contact. I'll choose an image. Write a name, phone number and email. Click on the add contact button and look, the contact is added. Great. Then I will click on it and see we have its detailed contact screen. Perfect. Here you can edit the contact by clicking on this floating action button. So let's try updating the contact. And look, the contact is updated. Perfect. Next, let's try deleting the contact. And the contact is deleted. Great. Alright, we created a fully functional contacts app. Amazing, right? Also, if you're facing any difficulties while writing the code, then you can buy the source code from the description box. But as a developer, I will highly recommend you to write the code on your own. Okay? And with that said, our contacts app series is over. So let me know in the comment section what do you want next. But for now, that is it for the video. If you are new to this channel, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video.